So because as sensitive empaths and highly sensitive people, we're so afraid often that people might get angry at us, especially if we have been enduring the scapegoat childhood, that we have the scapegoat trauma from our childhoods that we have experienced, of course, without our own consent, that people have been overstepping our boundaries and just treating us wrong, like we are punching bags to protect and pour their pain on. And they've been scapegoating us, especially our family members, narcissistic parents have been doing this. So it's important as an adult to understand that you cannot be responsible for everybody. So this is why we have had to learn, we have to learn this concept of just letting people be. So letting people think what they want to think. If they judge you, just let them do that, because ultimately it's not your problem to carry. You cannot be responsible for what people always think about you. You cannot live your life in a healthy way. You cannot be supporting yourself if you're always thinking about what other people think of you, and if they will get angry at you for saying one thing or another. So that is also codependency and seeking for approval and validation if you're doing that. And it is very wrong if the whole society supports abuse and disrespect and violation of boundaries. As a chosen one, I'm so against these kind of things. And when you are my soul person, then you are also in your mindset, you are also against all kinds of injustice and all kinds of wrongdoings, and you have the same thinking. And so it is important to be holding on to the truth, what is the truth, and just ignoring the lies. So I'm Finnish, I'm in Finland, and in my country, in Finland, it has always seemed to me like people were always silent about these things. People were always brushing, wiping under the carpet, hiding, shutting down, shutting away from these things when they should be talked about. And of course, this is another pattern how narcissistic parents can work. They act like this, that they are always wiping everything underneath a carpet like it was nothing. But it's not nothing, it's abuse, it's neglect, it's disrespect, it is boundary violation, it is serious psychological abuse. So this is one of the big reasons why I'm now speaking my truth as a God's chosen one, empath, highly sensitive woman, earth angel, starseed, who I am, because I have to be speaking up, because all those years I was silent. Now I'm 42 and it's been a long, painful journey. And I'm also a mother, and so I have to teach my son about those valuable things that I was never taught about. I have that responsibility, and I feel like I have that responsibility also from God, my mission from God, to be here on social media, to be speaking up, to be telling the truth, how things are. I got so fed up with suffering by myself alone. But again, this is why it is so valuable to be detaching from toxic people, to be cutting off toxic people, to be aware of when there is abuse happening. If there is one disrespectful word, I do suggest that you do cut that person, that interaction off immediately, because frankly, your health cannot be taking that, and you don't deserve that treatment. And like I was saying, we are not responsible for other people's issues. We can only handle our own, and that is enough. We cannot be carrying other people's anxieties within us. It's not acceptable. So I never understood why they have chosen Finland as one of the happiest countries in the world, because from my point of view, this was never true. I was so badly abused, attacked, and bullied as a child at school as well, and teachers did not do anything. It was like they did not even want to notice. And I was caused deep shame and depression, of course, mental health issues. People were destroying me emotionally and physically and mentally, and nobody even knew. My own mother was attacking me physically at home. Nobody did nothing. My stepfather didn't do anything. He was just watching by. And and because you are so sensitive and intuitive, a deep feeling person, especially when you are a woman and you've gone through similar issues, childhood trauma, childhood abuse, your boundaries have been violated ever since you have been a child. And you might still be looking for yourself, your identity, to feel whole, to actually feel connected with yourself. And you might feel so lost and desperate and alone and sad and hopeless in your life, because of course you are, because that is the byproduct of being treated wrong and being treated like an object, and people are just protecting and pouring their freaking issues on you. And also I want to mention about these things that if you encounter people, doesn't matter where it is, on the phone, online, or where it is, you feel anxious around them. Basically, your gut is warning you, your intuition is telling you that something is being off. That person does not even have to be toxic, but you can be so sensitive, especially if you have been on your spiritual path. You have been really awakening. So you can be so sensitive to people's energies. I know I've been more sensitive ever since my son has been born. I noticed within me that I became more sensitive. At the same time, I became like this lion who protects my son. But anyway, so you can be so sensitive to people's feelings and emotions, and you feel their issues even more, which also makes it heavier. So this is why you need to give yourself more slack and to be aware of what is happening when it's happening. That when you're feeling uneasy, uncomfortable, you're feeling like you cannot relax around somebody and they're not even listening to you. So if you have to repeat yourself, then it is a big sign that this person is not really paying attention to you and your needs, or they just don't understand what you're saying. But yes, I would say that if you pick up this feeling that this person, whether it is a random person or someone you know, but they're making you feel uncomfortable, uneasy, you feel their anxiety, for example, they are making you repeat yourself. Like you say something and they make you repeat yourself by asking the same thing again, and you find yourself saying like, oh, I just told you, and like I said already, So these are big signs that this person is not really understanding you and where you are coming from, or they're just simply not interested. They don't care enough to be present. But I think it is very, very healing and empowering when you can really acknowledge and understand that it is a serious matter when you have been abused as a child. So, because this trauma, this abuse, it can be destroying your entire life. And I'm not amazed that people are suicidal or have killed themselves or use drugs or alcohol, for example, because they have that trauma. They don't know anything else. Maybe they could not find someone to support them. Maybe they could not find. And like I've been saying, I've also gone through this alone. Just for me, the difference is that I never went to drugs, and I was able to quit drinking on my own. I was never an alcoholic anyway, but anyway, the thing is that I have not got caught in it so much that I could not live without it. So I was able to function and handle everything by myself, especially when I noticed that I was not getting the empathetic and understanding the right kind of support from anywhere. It's been so rare to find it. So maybe you resonate with this. Usually as chosen ones, apparently this is just how it goes, but of course it makes it harder with people. But yes, from my experience, these are huge red flags that this person cannot be understanding you or helping you with your questions, with your traumatic situation. If they are making you repeat yourself when you're asking about their services, for example, if you're testing the waters, if you can open up to this person or trust this person, they're making you repeat yourself over and over and over again. So that is the energy of negativity, and it's pushing you away, especially when you are already so drained out and exhausted. So clearly this person doesn't understand at all where you're coming from. Maybe they had a safe, a healthy childhood and they don't have the empathy. And they're making you feel very uneasy and uncomfortable to even try to open up. And you seriously feel that they are not on the same level as you. They are not an empath. They are not a highly sensitive person. And things like this would never happen to them. So they're like from a completely different planet. So how could they ever help you if they don't understand you, if they don't even listen to you, hear you out, if they cannot put themselves into your shoes? Ultimately, it's not going to be helping you. It's just going to make you again over-explain and overextend yourself. And that's not helping. It's not helping. It's going to be draining you out and making you more exhausted. And yeah, I don't know where you are from as you're watching this video. You can be from the US or the UK, or even from Ireland, for example, and your situation can be different. Maybe you have found the right kind of support. This is just my experience. Maybe you resonate with this. Sometimes it doesn't matter where we are. I've also seen very abusive and cruel people in England, for example, and it did not seem that welcoming in Ireland either when I've been there. So from my point of view, of course, this can happen anywhere that you're just not getting the empathetic support that you need. But again, we cannot be healing those issues, those traumas. We cannot be dealing and coping with other people projecting their issues on us and delivering their anxiety on us, treating us like we don't matter, treating us like objects, like punching bags. If we do not acknowledge those issues, if we do not have an outlet for those issues. So these are also big reasons why I've been talking and why I've been sharing valuable tips on how you can actually have those healthy kinds of outlets for your pain, because you need to have them. Like, for example, journaling is very good. That you can let those thoughts and feelings out that are not yours. And ultimately, you are your own best healer, of course, along with God and the angels, your invisible support team. So, you always need to remind yourself that you need to come back to peace, to center and ground yourself, and to be detaching your energies and yourself from other people. Because again, you cannot be responsible for them. They are just not your people if they don't understand you or hear you or respect you, if they violate your boundaries, and they have their own lessons to learn. So be aware of who is for you, who and what is for you, and who and what are not for you. And if you need more help and support, check out my services, buy my self-help book. It will really help you on your healing path after narcissistic abuse experiences when you are a sensitive empath, highly sensitive person like myself. And thank you for following me on TikTok, on Threads, subscribing to my YouTube channel, and of course, welcome to following me on Instagram. I would like some kind comments there as well. You can DM me if you want to ask questions about working with me, for example, and do book a call if you need one-on-one help.